In another episode of the Sovereign Renaissance, we're going to be discussing how dark occult communities and circles plot to steal finances and other assets of their family members. They don't come for your life in the dark of the night with a blade. They come for your legacy in the light of the day with a smile, a secret, and a promise of transcendence. It starts with the quiet erosion of everything you hold dear, your values, your skepticism, and eventually your sanity, until the day you realize the hand resting on your shoulder, guiding you toward the total liquidation of your family's life's work, isn't there to support you. It's there to make sure you don't fight back when they take everything you own, leaving you with nothing but the chilling realization that your salvation was just the price of your ruin. Groups that engage in coercive or predatory behavior, often described as cults or high control groups, typically use sophisticated psychological tactics to exploit members and their families. Their primary objective is to gain total control over an individual's life, which inherently includes the extraction of financial resources and assets. While the term dark occult is often used in folklore or sensational media to describe such groups, the practical methods they employ are rooted in psychological manipulation, social engineering, and the systematic erosion of personal boundaries. Here are the common methods of financial exploitation. These groups rarely announce their intention upfront. Instead, they use a gradual process to integrate themselves into a person's life, creating a dependency that makes financial surrender seem like a necessary or enlightened choice. Isolation and us versus them mentality. The group works to sever ties with negative family members or friends, but might provide a reality check or warn the victim about the group's true nature. By framing the outside world as dangerous or unenlightened, they force the victim to rely entirely on the group for emotional and social needs. Love bombing. Initially, the individual is showered with intense affection, validation, and a sense of belonging. This creates a deep emotional debt. Once the victim is hooked, the group begins to introduce demands for money or assets, framing these contributions as a way to prove commitment. Invest in spiritual growth or support the greater cause or mission. Induced fear and crisis management. Groups may manufacture or amplify crises, such as impending global catastrophes or personal spiritual threats, to create a sense of urgency when a person is in a state of high stress or fear. Their critical thinking is impaired, making them more likely to hand over assets for protection or to secure their place in the group. Gradual indoctrination, foot in the door technique. The group starts with small requests. As the victim complies, the, the demand scale up to larger assets, savings, or inheritance. By the time the victim realizes the magnitude of their loss, they are often too emotionally, socially, or financially compromised to leave. Exploiting cognitive vulnerabilities. They may use jargon or secret knowledge to claim moral or divine authority, as mentioned in our previous videos, by positioning themselves as sole arbiters of truth or salvation, they can justify the theft of assets as a test of faith or a renunciation of material attachments. Warning signs of financial abuse, unexplained financial decisions, sudden, secretive, or uncharacteristic changes to wills, trusts, or powers of attorney that benefit a specific group or a single individual within it. Sudden secrecy. The individual becomes evasive about their spending, bank accounts, or where their assets are being directed. Pressure to disconnect. The group encourages the individual to view family members as enemies or obstacles to their progress, specifically to prevent the family from intervening in financial matters. Complete change in lifestyle. The person may suddenly stop spending on personal needs, family obligations, or education to funnel all funds towards the group's causes. How to protect assets and individuals. If you believe someone is targeted or manipulated by an exploitative group, prioritize the following steps. Maintain communication. If possible, keep the lines of communication open, even if the person is pulling away. Avoid direct confrontation with the group's beliefs, as this can trigger the us versus them defense mechanism. Consult legal professionals. If you suspect an individual is being coerced into changing estate plans or signing over assets, consult an attorney who specializes in undue influence or elder law. They can advise on how to challenge changes made under duress. Appoint professional oversight. Encourage or help the person appoint a neutral third party professional, such as an accountant, lawyer, or a professional fiduciary, to oversee major financial decisions or estate planning, rather than relying solely on someone close to the group. Involve protective agencies. If the individual is a senior or otherwise vulnerable, consult, contact local adult protective services or legal aid organizations that specialize in financial abuse or and coercive control. Document everything. Keep a record of changes in behavior, unusual financial transactions, or instances where you believe the individual is acting under the influence of others. This evidence is vital for legal proceedings. In the end, the accounts don't just run dry, they vanish into the machinery of an organization that feeds on the inheritance of the shattered. You are left staring at the hollow wreckage of a family line, finally understanding the true ritual. They didn't just strip you of your gold or your deeds, they systematically hollowed out your legacy until you were nothing more than a ghost inhabiting your own empty history. The doors have locked, the accounts are sealed, and the higher wisdom you brought with your life's work has left you with one thing they always intended for you to inherit: absolute, irreversible silence and ruin. If you liked this episode, please do like, share, and subscribe. And it'll help others who might be facing such coercive, manipulative control. And until next time, goodbye.